The kingdom of Israel trembled. The air was thick with tension and uncertainty. Jehu, a military commander, had been anointed by God. This divine selection set him apart from others. He was tasked with a bloody mission, a mission that would test his resolve and faith. He was to destroy the house of Ahab, a house that had long defied the will of God. Ahab's reign had been one of idolatry and wickedness. His actions had led Israel astray. Jehu would be the instrument of divine judgment, a harbinger of God's wrath. Jehu knew the task before him was monumental. The weight of his mission bore heavily on his shoulders. He would need cunning and ruthlessness, traits that would serve him well in the battles to come. He gathered his loyal soldiers, men who would follow him into the heart of danger. They prepared for the inevitable confrontation, each man steeling himself for the trials ahead. Jehu would become both king and executioner, a ruler with the power to shape the future of Israel. He was driven by a potent mixture of ambition and divine purpose. His resolve was unshakable. His rise to power would be paved in blood, each victory marked by sacrifice and loss. The stage was set for a power struggle of epic proportions, a clash that would echo through history. The fate of Israel hung in the balance. Every decision, every action would shape its destiny. Jehu's actions would have far-reaching consequences, ripples that would be felt for generations. He would become a pivotal figure in Israelite history, a man whose legacy would be remembered. His story is a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the complexities of religious zeal. A tale that warns of the fine line between righteousness and tyranny. Jehu wasted no time. He penned letters to the elders and guardians of Ahab's 70 sons in Samaria. The message was clear. Choose between your lives and the house of Ahab. Declare your allegiance to me or face the consequences. The letters were dispatched with haste. Fear gripped the hearts of the recipients. They knew Jehu's reputation for ruthlessness. They were caught in a web of terror. Their loyalty was torn between the memory of their king and the threat of imminent death. The thought of opposing Jehu filled them with dread. The elders and guardians huddled, their faces pale with anxiety. They weighed their options. Could they defy Jehu and survive? Could they betray the sons of their former king? Their decision would seal the fate of Ahab's lineage. Their fear outweighed their loyalty. They chose self-preservation. Jehu received a chilling reply, one that would set the stage for a brutal and bloody chapter in the history of Jezreel. The elders proclaimed their loyalty to Jehu, pledging their unwavering support in the face of impending doom. They renounced the sons of Ahab, severing ties with the once powerful dynasty that had ruled over them. They awaited Jehu's arrival in Jezreel, the city that had been the heart of Ahab's reign. The city where Ahab's dynasty had flourished would now witness its gruesome end, a turning point in the annals of history. Jehu's chariot thundered towards Jezreel, driven by a relentless determination to fulfill his mission. He was a man possessed, his eyes burning with a fierce resolve. He entered the city gates, a harbinger of death, bringing with him the promise of retribution. He ordered the execution of Ahab's 70 sons, a merciless act that would forever change the course of Jezreel's history. Their blood flowed freely, staining the ground crimson, a stark reminder of the cost of defiance. The massacre was a spectacle of horror, a chilling display of Jehu's ruthless efficiency. Jehu's message was clear. This is the price of idolatry, a stern warning to all who witness the carnage. This is the wrath of God, a divine retribution that spared no one. The gruesome task complete, Jehu ordered the heads of Ahab's sons to be piled at the city gates, a macabre display of his triumph, a grotesque monument to his victory, a chilling reminder of his unyielding power, a warning to any who dared to oppose him, a testament to the fate that awaited his enemies. The stench of death permeated the air, a suffocating presence that hung over the city. The people of Jezreel cowered in fear. Their king was dead, their princes were slaughtered. The once mighty city was now a place of dread. Jehu was now the undisputed master of Israel, his authority unchallenged, his power absolute. Jehu's bloody purge was not yet complete. He learned of Ahaziah's relatives, 42 in total, who were passing through Samaria. They were descendants of Ahab's lineage, and Jehu saw them as a threat. He could not allow any remnants of Ahab's bloodline to survive. He set out to eliminate them all. He intercepted them at Betheked. They were unsuspecting, oblivious to the danger that awaited them. Jehu showed them no mercy. He ordered their immediate execution. Their blood mingled with the dust of the road. Their bodies lay strewn across the path, a grim testament to Jehu's ruthlessness. With each passing kill, Jehu solidified his grip on power. He had eliminated all potential rivals. His reign of terror had begun. The land of Israel was now his to rule. He had fulfilled the first part of his divine mission. The house of Ahab was no more. Section 5. A false invitation. Jehu's thirst for religious purification was not yet quenched. His mission to cleanse the land of idolatry was far from over. He turned his attention to the pervasive worship of Baal, which had deeply infiltrated the kingdom. Ahab's wife, Jezebel, had been a zealous advocate for Baal worship, spreading its influence far and wide. Jehu saw this as an affront to God, a direct challenge to the divine order he sought to restore. He devised a cunning plan to eradicate it, a plan that would require both deception and boldness. He proclaimed a grand sacrifice to Baal, an event that would draw all the worshippers together. He invited all the prophets and followers of Baal to gather in the temple at Samaria, promising a spectacular ceremony. Jehu played the role of a devout follower, masking his true intentions with a facade of piety. His plan was a masterpiece of deception, a carefully crafted trap that would ensnare his enemies. He would use their faith as a weapon against them, turning their devotion into their downfall. The day of the sacrifice arrived, and the temple grounds were abuzz with anticipation. The temple was filled to capacity. Priests chanted. Music filled the air, creating an atmosphere of solemn reverence. The followers of Baal were oblivious to the danger lurking beneath the surface of Jehu's fabricated piety, unaware of the trap that had been set for them. They believed they were in a place of worship, a sanctuary of their faith. Little did they know they were walking into a death trap meticulously orchestrated by Jehu. Section 6. The Reckoning of Baal. Jehu entered the temple, his face a mask of religious fervor. His soldiers surrounded the building, their swords hidden beneath their cloaks. Jehu gave a prearranged signal. The doors slammed shut. The trap was sprung. With a roar, Jehu's soldiers stormed the temple. They showed no mercy. The air filled with the screams of the terrified worshippers. The clang of steel echoed through the halls. The floor ran red with the blood of the slain. Jehu watched impassively, his heart hardened by his mission. When the slaughter ended, the temple was silent. The stench of death hung heavy in the air. Jehu had eradicated the worship of Baal in Israel, at least for now. He had proven his loyalty to God, but at what cost? His methods were brutal. His reign continued to be marked by violence and fear. Section 7. A zeal tainted by blood. Jehu's actions sent shockwaves through Israel. He had eliminated the corrupting influence of Baal worship. He had shown himself to be a zealous follower of God, but his methods were extreme. His hands were stained with the blood of countless innocents. He had secured his throne, but at a terrible price. His reign would forever be remembered for its brutality. His story serves as a cautionary tale. It highlights the dangers of religious extremism. It demonstrates how even acts done in the name of faith can have devastating consequences. Jehu's reign was a paradox. He was a man of great faith who committed terrible atrocities. He was a king who brought both stability and bloodshed to Israel. His story is a complex tapestry of power, betrayal, and religious fervor. Section 8. The Legacy of Jehu. Jehu's reign lasted for 28 years. He ruled with an iron fist. He maintained stability in Israel. He expanded the kingdom's borders. But he never fully eradicated the sins of Jeroboam. He continued to allow the worship of golden calves. This partial obedience would have lasting consequences. God punished Jehu's dynasty. His descendants would face constant threats. They would struggle to maintain control of the kingdom. Jehu's zeal had brought about a temporary reprieve from idolatry, but it could not fully erase the sins of the past. Jehu's legacy is a complex one. He is remembered as both a hero and a tyrant, a man who purified Israel through bloodshed, a king who secured his throne through violence. His story serves as a reminder of the enduring power of faith, the corrupting nature of power, and the profound consequences of our actions. Section 9. A reign of contradictions. Jehu's story is a stark reminder. Even with good intentions, even with divine purpose, we are capable of great darkness. Jehu's reign was a whirlwind of change and violence. He toppled a dynasty. He reshaped the religious landscape of Israel, but his methods left an indelible stain on his legacy. We are left to ponder the complexities of faith and action. We are forced to confront the uncomfortable truth that even the most righteous among us are capable of terrible deeds. Jehu's story is a timeless cautionary tale, echoing through the ages, reminding us of the fragility of peace, the seductive nature of power, and the enduring consequences of our choices.